every day, it gets harder and harder to ignore the voices. They whisper to me, even in the night. Every player has a grappling hook, but I wonder if anyone else actually listens to it. New players always ask, what is grappling hook? But they never ask, how is grappling hook? I know the answer. For centuries, it has always lurked in the inventory, used sparingly, forced to watch other weapons' successes. But no more. I will fulfill its greatest wish, its destiny. It seeks blood. It will not be satisfied with just a little. In fact, it craves for everyone's blood. For every single mob in Hypixel Skyblock, I will kill them with just this and only this grappling hook. Hypixel Skyblock has been around and continuously updated for years. There is no doubt hundreds of mobs. Picking my targets and getting their information is going to be difficult. The official Hypixel wiki will have the most accurate information, although a lot of it will be hidden under different tabs in some menus. In fact, the only way to keep track of all of the scattered information is to do research and input data from every mob into a Google Sheet, and that would take like 6 hours, but I don't know who would be crazy enough to do that. The reason this was necessary, besides now being able to avoid researching each mob's submenu to find their details and specific locations, is I can do this. Easily sort, categorized by island, sorted by health. And check this out. I can filter by events. This will save so much time and I can keep track of my targets. Now let's set a few ground rules. The first, each mob must have all of their health reduced to 0 by only my grappling hook. Only that damage is allowed. Of course, rules are meant to be broken. Does the fishing enchantment frail count? Probably not. Boss mobs are going to be especially difficult, even impossible. Those spawn periodically, and everyone has many players going after it at the same time. I can't reduce all of that health by myself. What about mobs that appear only for a limited amount of time, like slayers? It's going to take a lot of time chopping down on that health with my grappling hook. The two latter are something to think about. Not that I will be attempting in this video. Perhaps you would like to put in your opinion. I'm open to suggestions on how this should work. 2, defining the separate mobs. As you can see on the Google Sheet, there are a range of levels that each mob has. I will not be killing each separate level of mob. Like you get a level 1 blaze on your island and also up to level 70 blazes in the Crimson Isle. That's the same mob, just a different level. There are harder enemies I'll have to get through in the Crimson Isle anyway. I don't want to focus on those blazes if I know I can defeat those. Although there is a level 1 rat that can be found in the garden and the hub with different health. Same level, different stats. I will classify that as a different mob. Even though the name is the same, I will just consider it a different species or evolution of a mob. Other than that, each mob that is listed separately on the Hypixel wiki will be considered a separate mob to kill. And finally, 3 rules can be changed in the future, but you know, the 2 core rules need to remain consistent-ish. It's just 2 base rules for the most part. And now, the first order of business. I'm rich. I had my slaves break their backs for years to get this kind of cash. I have the optimal minion setup too. I have tier 7 tarantula minions, and according to math, if I upgrade them, it would take over 8 months to break a profit for the upgrades, for just, well, really 2 tiers if you want to get the monetary benefit. They are the reason I have the cash, and I need to keep it safe. My bank limit is 250 million. I have a little bit more than 250 million coins. It's a little out of the way, but if you go around the mountain, there's an entrance to a museum, and if you donate enough money to it, you can upgrade your bank for more interest and limit. Currently, I'll need to donate about 100 million to get a higher limit. That's a lot. I mean, I can afford it, but the money I have is better suited for my grappling hook journey. Items I donate to the museum will be locked away. I can't just buy something I'm going to use anyway. I guess I'll just have to spend the cash so I don't die with all these coins on me. I can't imagine losing this much money. Now, before actually starting, I'm going to need to run some experiments first. You see, health and defense is good for staying alive, but some of these mobs I will need to kill as fast as I can. Is the damage dealt by the grappling hook only base damage, or is it affected by strength and crit damage like weapons are? It should be a pretty simple experiment. I can test my damage now. 61, and that's a crit. I can crit with my grappling hook. And now if I take my armor off, then my crit damage will decrease if strength is applied to my grappling hook's first shot. Well, that was easy. I can go ahead and cross that off of the list. You cannot reforge or enchant a grappling hook. So the only items I can use to help boost my personal stats is armor, armor accessories, and normal accessories. The way that early players strive for is to get close to 100% crit chance and then increase their strength and crit damage together. I can mass reforge my accessories to swap, but for now, damage goes with defense, on the armor side at least. So now I just need to decide what to buy for the best damage for armor. Doing this will require a lot of research, math, and calculations. In fact, it could take so much work to act. Hey guys, what's the best armor for pure damage? Whoa, this guy Skyblocks. He uses a combination of armor to utilize different stats. So what does it mean? While I wait for the professional's opinion, I'm gonna do my own research. Now you see, this frozen blaze armor looks like it'll be the best bet because you're immune to fire and ice, and then there's well, the problem with choosing an armor is that a lot of full set bonuses, in addition to being helpful, they damage enemies. So it wouldn't count if I got them with my grappling hook. Let's just draft the armor that he suggested. It looks like that's one of the best armors in Skyblock to begin with. So there's different levels of Crimson armor based on how many times you level it up and start it. So there's a range of strength and crit damage, and I looked it up, and here's the calculation for your effective damage for crit and strength, combining both of them. So I got the effective damage and max damage for each armor set, along with the combination of the two that the other guy suggested. And it looks like the max for full Crimson armor wins by a long shot, actually. So why combine anyway? Or at least that's what I thought, until I realized that the max for Crimson involves starring and leveling it up with Dungeon's Essence. So that could apply to Necron armor too. It's just not listed as separate armor, so I'm gonna have to redo the whole calculation. How will I find the stats on starring that armor? Looking it up, Crimson armor is 10-star Crimson armor. The best is gonna take a lot of work. That's like fully end game stuff. Necron armor is the choice and best for most people, apparently. But it also comes with an ability that damages mobs. I don't want to damage mobs on its own. The grappling hook needs to do the work here. I don't think he understands. I'm looking crazy asking for a replacement armor piece, but I just need most of the full set. Looks like I could get a Warden helmet, which would reduce my speed for a better base weapon damage, but that's for weapons that already have a large base weapon damage. The grappling hooks is very small. I don't think that would really work for me. Or a Terra helmet, which looks a bit low level. I don't know why that would be suggested. Maybe I'm just misinterpreting that. The point is, for now, 3/4 Necron seems like enough for me for now. I'll have to find a better helmet later. Oh, well, that's convenient. I would have saved a lot of time if I just thought a little bit less. I'll go ahead and buy it a reasonable amount of stars so I don't have to spend all that time upgrading it. I have the money anyway. It requires floor 7 clear in dungeons. I only have floor 6. I need to level up my dungeons just a little bit more, although it is an exponential growth per level. That's going to take a while. I don't need the Necron armor right now for this video. What I do need is to get the cash out of my bank, so I can now buy the armor so I can stare at it. I feel more powerful already. I still have so much money left though. I need to get it under 250 million so I can fit it in my bank so I don't have to risk it all. So then I just turn to the armor accessories or equipment. And it's pretty obvious which ones are the best for damage when looking at the wiki. The Molten Necklace gives the most strength. The Annihilation Cloak though looks like it gives some pretty good extra crit damage along with the strength, but it requires Blaze Slayer 7, which is, maybe I'll get there one day. I mean, it's just a few extra crit chance. Molten Cloak it is. Similar thing for belt, you know, Molten Belt. And The Magma Lord Gauntlet looked pretty nice, but you need fishing level 45, and that's a lot. I might as well complete the set. Magma Bracelet. I wouldn't mind damage reduction in the Kuja fight when I get there eventually, but all of that was still relatively cheap. I have too much money. Where do I spend my money? Let me look at the pets. Pretty obvious. It's the tiger pet. Oh yeah, I already have a tiger pet. That only leaves one thing. I'm pretty surprised that I can get all of the max damage stuff this early, but now I'm hung up on accessories. Actual accessories. Skycrypt has a helpful tool to show you which accessories you don't have already. So I can just go through the list and buy those until I get down to under 250 million or maybe a little bit below. Now, these are our targets. We will be going after them in order from island to island, least health to most. You know you have to work your way up, and things will progressively get harder and more interesting the more we do this. I also can't wear my Necron armor, so let's get the easy ones out of the way. My private island will be the first step on this journey because most of the mobs on the list can be spawned at level 1 with minions. To do that process, I've constructed a kill circle that will... No, I can't... It needs to be with... Apparently you can't use ranged attacks on minion spawned mobs, but most of these mobs will spawn naturally at night anyway if I remove my repelling candle. But I do have to wait till nightfall. The hub will be our first step. It does not host a ton of mobs. There are a lot that are exclusive to events, but there's no events happening right now. We already got the graveyard zombie earlier in the video, and the zombie villager only comes out at night. So our very first target is going to be the old castle, home to the wolf and the old wolf. My intimidation artifact prevents me from being targeted by up to level 25 mobs. So these wolves are going to be pretty easy to take down. Now we're going after the old wolf, which can be found somewhere around here. And here we go. I'm going to be here for a while. That critical hit ding is going to get really annoying someday. You didn't see nothing. You didn't see nothing. We'll just be along our way. Don't mind us. Yes. Got an old wolf down. Now we set our sights on the crypts, home to some of the more higher level hub mobs, but still not too difficult. The crypt ghoul. These are 5 levels above my intimidation artifact, and these will actively target me. My only hope is to get one separated from the pack. I'm lucky enough to have my grappling hook because it has a decent bit of knockback. There goes the crypt ghoul. There's one more mob down here. The golden ghoul. Oh, there's 2 right there. No, he's destroying all my hard work. He doesn't understand. No, he doesn't understand. Just stay right there. Don't move. Not you. These guys are killing me. Do I have... No, doesn't... That he took damage from Cleave! Cleave does damage to mobs around the blocks. Okay, I can't... I need to use this one more sparingly, and I need a new server. That guy better not mess up my style. No! I need an empty lobby. The golden ghouls, they can't be counted as mini bosses. I can't use the excuse of, oh well, there's only a few. There are mini bosses. I can't adequately solo one. Ooh, wait, it's nighttime. Let me get rid of this. No, come here. Yeah, there we go. I don't care about the dark auction. There's only one thing to me that matters right now. I don't even have my pet out. What am I doing? I was building the kill circle. There, oh, 75. That'll speed things up a lot. What was that? Something is... What is ferocity? It's actually a chance for it to hit twice. Oh, that's really helpful because it's still the grappling hook damage. Ferocity. It's in the bounds. Does anyone else remember that time where they were scared to go down the crypts because all these zombies one-shot them? And think about how far I've progressed. Party's over, fellas. That just leaves one mob left in the hub. The rat. Where do I find the rat? They spawn in the basements. I should just look in all of the house's basements for a rat. There's one right there. This is obviously a defective rat. Oh, it's not actually. There we go. I got some cheese. Next is the farming islands. I'm grouping them together. These host a small amount of passive mobs. It will only be a quick stop. One shot. Oh, this should be easy. And this is where we hit our first roadblock. Trevor spawns trapper animals, and those trapper animals can be a very wide variety of animals and different rarities with different abilities. Although on the wiki, it describes trapper animals as one singular mob. Do we count one trapper animal as one mob? It's invisible. I think we do. If it's listed on the wiki as one, I think we clarified in one of the rules that it's counted as a separate mod. There's many times that rule will be detrimental to us, but for the trapper animals, I want to count that as a win. There are actually no mobs found in the gold mine, unless you count Rusty. But the deep caverns is where things start to get interesting. So there's going to be 1 or 2 mobs on each level of the deep caverns. On this level, the main one is the sneaky creeper. The sneaky creeper is invisible. It's level 3, so my intimidation talisman is probably making it go crazy. Oh, I got one. I could hear their footsteps. I knew where they were. I feel so powerful. Shouldn't be too hard. I got it. I'm running. That was easy. I'm getting by these pretty quickly. The Dwarven Mines, I'll save for another time because the majority of the mobs left, I will want to be at my max power, which means grinding dungeons so I can wear my Necron armor. There is a long and difficult road ahead of me. With a lot of mobs left, weeks, months, even years lie ahead of me. Make sure you subscribe so you don't miss the future videos in the series, and comment any changes or updates you want to make to the process. The future is bright, as I'm pretty sure almost every mob is a possibility here. This isn't really a challenge because I'm sure there will be a few that are just practically impossible to kill with a grappling hook. This is more of finding out how many I can kill with a grappling hook. We can even give me a grade. Can I do 95%? 96%? I'm not going to look at it that way though. I'm not going to give up lightly on mobs. You can count on me. I'm prepared to spend dozens of hours, even weeks on a singular mob. Speaking of, would you be interested in watching me live stream attempts? I get lonely sometimes. I better start grinding those dungeons. I need to get that Necron armor and start enchanting it up. This is gonna take a while.